pleasure to be here in this YOSI forum, and I have been given a set of questions to answer. Again, it is going to be a pleasure and honor for me uh, to be able to help the young ophthalmologists in the endeavors that they are going to carry forwards from whatever experience that I have had. And I think experience is something that is not written in the books. Each one has to go through his or her own story and struggles. And this is best known by, talking to people, by interacting with people. And I would like to congratulate the team YOSI for this effort that they have done and for this concept and for this initiation. Time is important not only for women, but also for men. For us, it becomes a little more difficult because of the fact that we have to do multitasking, and there are multiple areas, multiple portfolios that we have to look into, not only our own profession, but personally our friends and families also. And apart from that is our own, you can say, ambition, our own goal to be able to excel professionally. So I think the best way to manage time is to compartmentalize things, to have a focus, to have a balanced approach. And like I've always said that balancing leads to mediocrity. So you cannot really balance, but wherever you are, whether you are at your workplace or whether you are at your home or in your other professional arenas or even your extracurricular activities, where you want to focus, I think the most important thing is that you have to give it your 100%. And just like everything goes simultaneously, like you eat every day, you sleep every day, you take a bath every day. Likewise, uh, in your uh, in your career as well as in your families, it has to happen simultaneously. It cannot be done sequentially because then you lose grip and there is no continuity. So small efforts done every day by compartmentalizing your time. Uh, for instance, you have time when you go to your office, your academic work, your clinical work, your operation theater, your clinics. Even after that, there would be some time, say, for instance, in the evening, which can be devoted to your other activities. For instance, if you are involved in societies, etc. And then apart from that, there is also some time which is there for your family. So I think compartmentalization is important, and chasing and following each of the tasks every day is crucial. Having said this, I cannot undermine the importance of delegation. What can be done by others, one should try not to do it. One can supervise it. I know you're not going to be there 100%, in the sense that it may not be done to your liking 100%, but you'll be there 80%, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. So I think this is the most important concept that I would like to give about time management, and that is compartmentalization. Here again, it is more about your time rather than your duration management or the time interval where you are in. There are some years in your life, which are more important for your family. So then your other career and your profession takes a little backseat. For instance, when your children are in 10th or 11th or 12th standard, or their careers are being made, or where they are very young, they're just born. Those are the times, when your own careers, your own professional responsibilities will take a little backseat. It doesn't mean that you completely do away with them. Do them, but maybe the tempo is not going to be as great as it is during the intervening years, when you can give more time to yourself. And once your children are settled, then of course you have all the time in the life with you, and then you actually uh, pat yourself that you ever did something before, so that now this one thing that is there is your passion and is still with you. So I think in your life, there would be times when you would have nothing to do. For instance, after every 3 years, there's a break. You do your post graduation, there's a break. You don't know where you will do your senior residency or fellowship, after which again there is a break. So these kind of breaks would occur in life. They are common, and it doesn't matter. You don't forget anything. The moment you pick it up, you start again. So breaks here and there are fine, but you should not fall prey to an escapist attitude that, I was taking a break for this and so I did not do it. So it is very important to come back and come back with, I shouldn't say with vengeance, but come back with a greater grit and a greater determination to do much better than what you were doing before. International fellowship is something I agree one may or may not do. And I did it quite late in life when I had already become a faculty member in AIMS. And there were problems because first time when I applied, I was short by about 4 weeks and I couldn't go. So I applied again when my probation period was over. And subsequently, I decided that I have to go. When you go internationally, it's a different culture. It's a different way they treat patients. It's a different way they investigate patients. And it's a different way that they do surgery. So you learn a lot of things subconsciously, you imbibe a lot of things subconsciously, which actually helps you in your stint when you come back from abroad. Also, having said this, you also do a lot of networking. And I think it gives you a different kind of confidence. So even if you go for, say, 3 months or 1 month or 2 months or observership, or combine it with your, conferences that you're going to annual meetings like American Academy or ESCRS or ASCRS or Asia Pacific Academy of Ophthalmology, just combine a couple of days either before the conference or after the conference to visit any other center or to visit some reputed centers. So that again kind of opens up new channels for you and gives you another kind of confidence. I think, and I heard this, there are 3 things which are very important in life, and these are the 3 C's. So the 3 C's are that you have to compromise. You have all sorts of people in your team. You have to realize what their positives are. Not everybody is capable of doing everything. So what the person does best, you delegate or allocate the work to him in that manner only. As a team leader, it is your duty, it is your responsibility to get the best out of in everybody. Only then, because a leader and a team is only as best as the team members are. So even if there is a difference in opinion, it doesn't matter. You can compromise a little bit, then you have to collaborate. So I think that is very important between your team members, that you should, collaborate amongst your team members and coordinate. Like I said, these 3 C's are very important for doing anything administratively. The immediate instinct when you become an administrative head is that you want to be very strict, you want to be very perfect, you want to everything to be, prim and proper. But that may or may not happen because you and your capability and the output that you give is determined by the commitment of your team, by the time that your team is able to give, by the skill of the team. So I think you have to work on each of these components, and you have to identify people who are good at these things and subsequently delegate work accordingly. And when all of them work in a conglomeration with each of the, strengths of each of the person, which is used to 100% maximum, then I think spectaculars happen. And then I think, dreams come true. Important to collaborate, it is important to coordinate, and it is important to compromise. And of course, it is very important to lead by examples. If you work hard, everybody will try to emulate you and will try to work hard. But if you don't work hard and if you just depend on them, then they, would see pass through you and they will not respect you as much. So I think respect is something that you should command, that you should not demand. It shouldn't come out of fear, but it should come out of a genuine feeling of giving respect to somebody. And I think for that, it is important that you collaborate and coordinate well with each of the team members. said that at all platforms, and I continue to say this again, that it is very different for males and it is very different for females. I always think and I always believe that we have to give 200%, work hard 2 times more, double the time as our male counterparts. No offenses to them, but it's only that one, you have to, you're constantly struggling to come out of your houses. Two, you're constantly struggling to make place in your workplace. And if you have to outshine them, then I think, like I said earlier, you have to work doubly hard as compared to them to reach where you want to be. No offenses to men, no offenses to them, but the only thing is that possibly because we do a lot of multitasking and we tend to take a lot of responsibilities back at home and as well as here at the work front, that this happens. On Women's Day today, my message would be to the young ophthalmologists that whatever you have thought of doing, whatever is in your mind that you want to do, just go ahead and do it. Because it's a very short life. You get only one life, you don't get another one. For me, it works like that if I have to do it, if I want to do it, I would say yes, I would commit first, and then think of, how to do it. I know that everybody cannot be that rash, but I always feel that once you commit to yourself that you want to do it, or you commit to others that you want to do it, you find out ways and means to do it. Ways and means are not difficult to find once you commit to yourself and once you promise yourself that you want to do something. So don't weigh too much on the pros and cons of everything, because if you think hard, the decisions, they become weak. So it is more important, that you just do 80% of the time you would be right. Maybe sometimes you're wrong, but then that's fine. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Thank you so much, young ophthalmologists, for having me here today. And it's a pleasure always to be talking to you something about which is not ophthalmology. And I would be always happy to help anybody who would want any help professionally or personally for that matter, because of the fact that, we have already had the experience of how to do it and how to go about it. So your learning curve gets shorter if you, talk to experienced people. You don't have to go through everything to know how it happens and why it happens, when it happens. So thank you once again. And I would like to thank Dr.Annu Joon for asking me to speak today. Thank you so much and wish you all the best. The young ophthalmologists there, the world is all yours. You just have to go and conquer it. Thank you so much.
Good morning and happy International Women's Day to everyone. Quality would be to lead by example. That means you just cannot sit and not do the work. You have to do all, right from the grunt work to everything that you want your team to do. So lead by example. The second is to be extremely inspiring or motivational. So the leader should have the knack of motivating the team members and also to inspire by the work or by the talent and so on. And the third equally important quality is to be an effective communicator. So to be able to communicate exactly what you want the team to do and also to be able to listen to what all it is that the team has in terms of value addition, in terms of discussion. So these are the top 3 qualities. Difficult. It's really a tough act to balance administration work, clinical work, research, education. You need to be extremely disciplined. So by using the quality of discipline is how you manage all of this. Don't procrastinate, have a timetable, and make sure that you whatever is extremely urgent has to be dealt with first, and that's how you prioritize your time. Say to all the young women ophthalmologists out there, hopefully who will be listening to me, be bold, be independent, be extremely hardworking, and of course be passionate. This is the mantra that I have to give to all my friends out there. Thank you very much.
Management, I think, is built in our DNA. We are multitaskers by birth and by conditioning. So time management, you have to prioritize. You have to prioritize your family, your children especially, and your career and your me time. So you'll have to be a professional juggler in those 24 hours and prioritize the time and be a multitasker, which we all are. Balancing between career and family again is something which is sometimes very difficult, because in our life, pregnancy and nurturing the child very often takes priority, because we are primarily nurturers. But in ophthalmology profession itself, as a doctor, you become carers, and that's very intrinsic to a woman. So therefore, managing your family and your career sometimes goes hand in hand. Of course, it's always never a smooth road. You'll have to sometimes give up something, and we have to somewhere realize that we cannot be perfectionist all the time. We cannot be the perfect doctor, the perfect mother. We'll have to somewhere say it is okay to be B+ sometimes. Doing my post-graduation and then senior residency from a very prestigious institute, RP Center, I still felt the need to improve my surgical and clinical skills. That was the era of no internet. We didn't have that much exposure as you youngsters have now. And it was always on my radar to do better and to see the experts. And that is why I applied for international fellowships. I did face many obstacles, both while getting the permission, because I was very junior when I went for my international fellowship. I was chosen as the Commonwealth Scholar. So it was a prestigious scholarship, therefore the permission was given to me. Even in England, because half of my mind was divided with my children who I had left behind. There were some aspects which were penalized. But as I said, you have to have a goal in mind and you have to keep going towards it. And that's what I did. Differences of opinion in the team will always happen if you have a thinking team, and that's the type of team you should have. You shouldn't have a team of yes-sayers always. Once you have differences, then you have to realize two things. One, that the differences may be teaching you a different way of thinking, which may be the correct way, because often we become very rigid. Second, what is negotiable and what differences are not negotiable. So as a team leader, you have to make that boundary clear, that for this aspect or this goal or this activity, these things are not negotiable. Last, always in a team, you have to do a give and take. Only then the team will go along. Leader, you have to have a vision, and the vision should be a realistic one and a one which will help both you and the service which you are doing to grow. Having said that, do not try to jump into the goals. Go step by step. Keep persevering. Any goals which are worthy are not ever easy. The path is often rocky, many obstacles are there, but that's what life is all about. The obstacles on through the potholes, going ahead. As a woman, definitely you have the path not so easy. More than your peers, your patients, your junior staff do not look up to you. because we are conditioned to look up to men as the superior beings and women as the stay at home, look after the kids beings. Now things have changed much for the better. You have much more peer support because there are more women in the workforce. Therefore, it is more acceptable. In our time, it was less acceptable and the problems were more, especially when you needed to take time out for home activities. Message to yours would be keep dreaming. Dreams are that which don't let you sleep. So sleep less, dream more. And especially for the lady youngsters, keep dreaming big. Do multitasking. You can afford to dream much more than your male counterparts. We have double X in our DNA. So we can definitely afford to dream much more and do much more than the poor single X's.
Respect to time management, prioritizing is very, very important. As women, we are multitaskers, so it's very easy for us actually to allocate our mind space to 2 different or 3 different things at the same time. So we get more done in a shorter period of time. But having said that, when I said prioritizing, it means that as of now, I'm a mother of 2 girls, so I have to prioritize my time a little bit for both of them. They're growing girls. One of them is already in 10th. So I'm not telling you physical time, but I'm always available for them whenever they need me at the end of a phone call. And the second aspect being my profession, my patients. I'm ensuring that I'm here at all times whenever they need it. And luckily, we're an appointment-based system. So a patient never goes back from Narayana Nethralaya without actually meeting me because they schedule my appointments likewise. Did I do an international fellowship is to get a better perspective. You know, we've all been like a frog in the well situation. We don't know what's there outside in the world. So I thought going out even for a brief period of time, for a couple of months, is going to enhance my knowledge in terms of retinal imaging. We wanted to set up a reading center and I got a very good opportunity for me to go and work. So it was great. Well, what were the hiccups or the difficulties is that my kids were very, very young at that time. So I did feel the pinch of leaving them and going for about 3 months. But I ensured that I was in touch with them over video calls. And I think the best part of it for them and how I made it up for not being there for 3 months is actually taking them for a holiday in the US. I think it made a lot of difference because right now on their CV, they have visited the America. So, it's a big thing for the kids that they've already visited the US at such a young age. So I know that missing 3 months of their life was a big thing, but I think along the way it is important for us also to gain new experience. Retina. Let me just narrate to you why retina actually is because I didn't have anyone to really guide me which subject to take. In fact, even ophthalmology, I joined after a lot of deliberation by myself because I have no doctor in the family who could actually tell me join this particular profession. I had gone to a conference in Chennai. It is to be called as the SROC, South Regional Ophthalmic Conference, and that's where I met Dr. Natarajan. And I was telling him, sir, I really don't know what to do. I'm a PG now, I'm completing now. He's like, why don't you come to Bombay? Why don't you do retina? You join me. So that's how the journey actually began. It was not that I'd made up my mind that I want to do retina and I really have a higher passion for retina than antral segment. And having taken retina, it is not the easiest of subjects because there's really no gratification. You don't see 6/6 post-op the next day. There are technical challenges. It's a very difficult surgery to do most often. So I think as women, we can do that because we do give a lot of attention to detail. I'm not saying that cataract is less challenging, but when it comes to more difficult tasks, I think we do a good job of it. So yes, there are challenges and I think we're very well equipped to meet all these challenges. Challenge, because each one in the team will have a different opinion, a different take on any given situation. So I think what is important is to take everyone along the journey to make sure they're all part of the decision making process, wherein we sit and hash it out. You actually discuss, whether this is good for the team, whether this is good for the department, overall the hospital, patient care. I think taking everybody's opinion and then coming to the middle path is most important, and I think everybody can do that. If you're a good administrator, you should ensure that nobody feels bitter or unhappy at the end of the day. As long as they all know that it was the best decision for the team, I think it's a good enough option to take. Most important thing is to ensure that each one of your team member gets an equal opportunity to do what they want to do. It's not only about the leader, or it's not only about the senior most in the team or the most deserving. There's nothing like that. Everybody in the team deserves a chance to do better, and I think when an opportunity presents, you should let that particular team member of your department to take it forward. I think that's most important. Nobody should feel shortchanged. They should all feel that they're being treated equally, and I don't think it's very difficult to do. For women than men, I don't think it's really challenging. That is some sort of a misconception that most people have. Why are we women better at the job than men is simply because we have a little bit more patience to deal with things. We tend to be able to do more things simultaneously than probably our male counterparts. I'm not saying that any less efficient they are, but we tend to be more involved at an emotional level. So that is the reason why I think we can do the job well and not any much lesser than our male counterparts. If you're asking me what is the message to all ophthalmologists, I would say, guys, you need to treat the girls as equals. You need to give them as many opportunities as you're getting. Be supportive of your partners, your wives, your sisters, your mothers. I think that's very, very important because they play a larger role at a family level, and they also need to play an equal role as a professional. So I think that is a message for you guys. As far as the girls go, as far as the women go, don't get bogged down by your commitments as a woman, whether it's as a daughter, a wife, as a mother. I think we can play multiple roles equally well. So whether you're taking a break for your children, for your pregnancy, or for marriage, just bounce back and then give it your best. I'm sure we are all going to succeed together. Happy Women's Day to all of you.
Hi, this is Dr. Kasturi Bhattacharjee. At the outset, I'd like to wish all the wonderful ladies, all the beautiful ladies, a very, very happy International Women's Day. I feel that the importance of women in the leadership role is better understood when we look at the woman's position at the variety of socio-economic, graphical spectrum of the country. If we look to all the successful women, it is only the tip of the iceberg that we are seeing, but there are so many things behind it, below it, so much of hard work, so much of dedication, so much of sacrifice every woman needs to do to climb up the ladder and to be in the leadership position. I think here I like to quote Michelle Bachelet, who is the head of the Union Women and the former president, who says that for me, a better democracy is a democracy where women do not only have the right to vote and to elect, but the right to be elected. And that is what I feel that if you ask, a better democracy is when a woman is elected as an institutional head, a woman is elected as a state head, an organizational head. And I believe that women as institution head should be considered as something normal and standard and should not be considered as a debatable subject.
that to balance a career and a home is a responsibility of both a parent, both a male and a female, both a man and a woman. And it is always a cooperation by both of them, helping each other at work, at home, in the professional career, in the personal career. This really gives to a win-win situation, a very positive family atmosphere, and a positivity and success in every sphere of life. Feel that oculoplasty is a branch which is a combination of both science and art. And oculoplasty is a branch of ophthalmology which needs so much of versatility, which needs so much of creativity and intricacy. And I feel that as a woman who is always in every sphere of life, the concept, the thought, the way they express is always a balance, or it is always a combination of science and art. I feel oculoplasty is the apt subject for the woman ophthalmologist. And yes, I feel there's no perfect time to fellowship. Anyone can start anytime. Anyone should start when one is ready to invest himself or herself in the endeavor. But yes, the question is when to start. The earlier it is better. But there are so many corners in ophthalmology which remains unexplored during the postgraduate period. So I feel that fellowship is definitely pivotal if one desires to practice and operate in a specialty. So it is always better to have fellowship so that you give back in the community by being a very trained specialist in the subject that you want or that you pursue in your career, that is you pursue after your residency period, because it is very important what we have learned. Most of us have learned from patients. So it is a responsibility to give back the best of us to the community. Thank you.
A very big hi to all my dear friends and dear sisters. Wishing you all a very, very happy Women's Day. On this special day, I would like to remind you all that each one of you, are so amazing at multitasking, managing not only your profession, your career, your family, and your house so well. Always believe in yourself because you have done what best that you could. First of all, hone your clinical skills so well that you should be the best person around. Put your heart and soul in everything that you do. I know doing a solo practice is very, very difficult. Just like I faced so many difficulties in the early years of my career. But friends, believe me, all you need to do is work hard, put your heart and soul into it, and God will be there to take care of you. Another thing is always try to be financially independent. Learn about how to manage your finances, learn about how to manage your practice, and take the help of people who know about this so that you are guided in the right way. Also, try to have an all-round personality because otherwise you can easily burn yourself out. Pursue certain hobbies that give you satisfaction, that keep you happy. Be happy in what you do. Love what you do and do what you love. Most importantly, be strong. Be very strong. Remember, a strong woman stands up for herself, but a stronger woman stands up for the people around her. So friends, wishing you all a very happy Women's Day, not only on this day, but for the 365 days of the year. All the best and God bless. Thank you.
Hi everyone, happy Women's Day, and I'm so happy to be on the YOSI platform and share some of my thoughts. The first question was about solo practice. I think setting up a solo practice in general is not easy, whether for men or women. The strength women have in terms of multitasking, people skills is a big advantage. However, there are some specific problems like the risk taking ability, raising the finances, and devoting a lot of time which is required in the initial years, and women need to balance so many other things. So time management skills can be an issue. However, I feel that women can do really well to partner with other women and set up group practices. Financial literacy is extremely important whether you're in private practice or otherwise. I think that's a big lacune that we all doctors have, since it has never been part of our curriculum, unlike for engineers, IT professionals and all. So I think it's important for us to educate ourselves, and we should have very many more frank discussions, CMEs and programs which are centered on financial management. In the past, yes, it's true, women generally shied away from taking up leadership positions in organizations, not because of lack of ability, but more because of time constraints, as women have to manage the home front and they have more responsibilities of their family and children especially. However, things are changing, and I think in the recent past we have excellent examples in the form of Dr. Namrata and Dr. Chitra, who have excelled on all fronts. So I think more and more women are coming forward and taking up organizational positions and are managing to do so extremely well. I think young doctors today are under greater stress. In this era of super specialization, they remain fellows and junior doctors for such a long time, unlike their peers who are already well settled and earning well. They also have to face a lot more competition, and society is no more as enamored and looking up to doctors as it used to be in the past, as it was considered a noble profession. My advice would be that they must have a more holistic view on life and should not just focus on financial payouts, but should develop hobbies and a healthy social life. COVID has taught us that health comes foremost. I'm a marathoner myself. In fact, I started running only at the age of around 48. And I have inculcated the love of physical exercise in both my children, who are also doctors. So we must take out some time every day to do some exercise, some outlet for looking after our health, whether it is yoga, walking, or taking up some sport. It's always good to move out of your comfort zone and take up new challenges. Initially, when I was asked to take up the secretaryship of NOS, I resisted because I felt I already had enough on my plate, and how would I manage this new responsibility? But now I'm enjoying it, and I hope that I will contribute in a meaningful way, and I'm able to manage both my work and my home front. My message to young women ophthalmologists is that you all have the talent and ability, so go all out and achieve your dreams. Do not be afraid to take up new challenges. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. Balance your life, prioritize yourself, share and encourage each other, and move forwards. Happy Women's Day. I'm Dr. Ritu Aurora.
I work by a very simple philosophy that wherever you are at whatever point of time, prioritize on that. So if I am at work, I'm 100% at work. That would mean that if I'm in the OPD, my phone is aside, I don't look at anything, I don't try to clear my mails, I don't get onto social media, and I'll be there from the first patient to the last patient, pushing the system to work in a very timely fashion.
Similarly, if I'm at home, I completely log out from everything that's related to work, and I try to prioritize that time for my family. And I try to build this into myself very consciously, that at any given point of time, what I am doing is priority. Everything else can take a step back. Of course, there are emergencies that happen, and when the emergencies happen, you have to deal with it. So there are times when systems are meant to break down, and you're meant to learn how to mend it again after it has broken down. So that's how I work. It's very simple. Interesting. So the first thing that I look for in a fellow is the ability to depend on that fellow. Dependability on a fellow is extremely important in my opinion, because the way I work is I would give certain instructions and I'd want them to follow it that way. At any point of time, if they are stuck in something, I hope that they get back to me and I'm able to correct them in time. So that's number one. And second trait in general that I like in fellows is integrity. So, if that trait is not there, it's very difficult for me to connect with a person. So I like genuine people with a lot of integrity and dependable fellows. Everything else, how good they become, how they speak, how they go ahead with a research topic, is everything that I can inculcate in them. And they need not come to me having learned all of that. So these two traits, if they are there, it works best for me. Again, very good question. So the kind of person that I am, I like things to, not be constant for a very long period of time. Say, for example, all mucormycosis were being exaggerated. And to my mind, a question comes that why? So that why has to come to your mind. You have to be an innovative kind of person to constantly be focused on research, so that you can advance the knowledge that is there in science and take science to the next level. So inquisitiveness and innovativeness is something that drives me. I get very bored by the mundane, and therefore always thinking about what else can you do that can augment the outcome a little bit is something that probably started my journey in research.